What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with the 4for4 Philly Fan Podcast. The Eagles today made some moves, made some reassurance to, some guys on the coaching staff, some guys that I think should get fired, and, some guys that I didn't really think should have been and were. So, to get started, Jim Schwartz he told the Eagles basically that he was not coming back for the 2021 season, whether that means he was getting fired regardless or he was just stepping down and missing the 2021 season. I don't know what really went through all this. Brandon Graham spoke on it a little bit last week after the loss, and he was basically saying, if you're going to go out, might as well go out being yourself. So I feel like Jim Schwartz kind of knew that he was either going to get fired or he was just going to step down and do whatever he wanted. But Jim Schwartz is no longer the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles after this season. Now, what I have to say about that, he was not the main problem. There is one main problem, but that has not been, talked about yet in this Eagles front office or anything. Jim Schwartz was not a bad defensive coordinator. Was he the best? No. But he definitely wasn't the main issue. Now you are just adding another task to this already going to be miserable offseason. You have to find a way to do something about either quarterback. You have to draft. You have to, spend money when you don't have it. You have Doug. You have Howie. You don't have an offensive coordinator. The wish list, the checklist for this Philadelphia Eagles team is going to be insane. It's not going to end well. This team has been mediocre for the last 2 years. This year being terrible. You are the worst team in the worst division ever. Think about that for a second. This Eagles team was the worst team in the worst division of all time. We're going to crown a team winning 6 or 7 games. 6 or 7. There's teams in the AFC that have 10 wins, and one of them isn't going to the playoffs. The Dolphins, the Colts, the Ravens, and the Browns all have 10 wins right now, and one of them tomorrow will not see a playoff spot. But we were up for a playoff spot until last weekend. Think about that. If I'm a fan of any of those 4 teams, I would hate the NFC East for even being allowed to have a representative in the playoffs. I'm not hanging a banner if I'm any of these teams. The football team, Dallas, or the Giants. Whoever wins this division, why would you do not buy merch. Do not hang that banner. This is a joke. And the Eagles are the biggest joke of them all. And it starts with Howie Roseman, who has done nothing since that Super Bowl. What did he do? What has he done? All he does? Oh, you were a part of that Super Bowl team? Oh, yeah, you can come back for an extreme amount of money. Jason Peters, Corey Clement, Jalen Mills. The list goes on. The list goes on with this team. They are so far from being anywhere near good. They are a mess. And now you're just adding to the fuel. Now you need to find a defensive coordinator. And you better not stay in-house because these guys aren't good. It doesn't matter what these guys do. The Eagles next season will not be good. Whether it's Carson, whether it's Jalen, it does not matter. You paid a guy like $30 million in Hargrave to record like 3 sacks all season long. Maybe not even that. Maybe like 2. He did little to nothing. Little to nothing. Not saying that he's obviously not the main problem. He is in a very good defensive line. Very good. That's the bright spot of this team. Fletch, Hargrave, Barnett, Graham, Jackson. That's the brightest spot of this team, and that's saying something. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in this year's draft, but what I'm saying, you better not mess this up. This team, no matter what, will have a top 10 pick. They stink that bad that we're going to have a top 10 pick this upcoming draft. Now, there is multiple guys that you just cannot miss on. And if you pick somebody that is a nobody, again, for the third straight year, I don't know what I would do. You waste a pick on the second round by drafting a quarterback. You take Jalen Reagor, who I'm not saying is bad. I'm not calling him a bust. I'm not going to be that guy, but he is not Justin Jefferson. And when you have a guy that was just on the most electric offense ever in college football, you take that guy. You do. It's that simple. And they didn't. And now I like Reagor. I think he's a solid player. I think he's going to be a good player. But Justin Jefferson just might be one of the best receivers in the NFL in a few years. He's already over 1,000 yards. We don't even have a 500-yard receiver this year. Again. And there's a problem with that. You could have had DK Metcalf or Justin Jefferson. You could have had them both. And you messed it up twice. Again, I'm not saying Jalen Reagor's a bust, but J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is. He's awful. Awful. Terrible football player. He can't run routes. He's lazy. He stinks. You cannot mess up this draft. No matter what you take. Whether it's a linebacker, which I know it won't be, even though we need one. I know it's not going to be Parsons. I know that. I know that there are 3 great wide receivers in this draft class that are going to go within the top 12. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith. My personal opinion, you better, if available, draft Devonta Smith. That kid is special. Not saying that the other 2 aren't, but he's about to win the Heisman. He has that locked up. He does. It's not even close anymore. Mac Jones is second. But he makes Mac Jones look amazing. And that's coming from me. I'm an Alabama fan. You know, I was born into it. Devonta Smith, out of the great receivers that Alabama has had, he is up there with some of the greatest. Cooper, Julio, Ridley, he's up there. He might be third. He might be over, Ridley or guys like that. It's close. He's about to win the Heisman. The Heisman as a wide receiver. That's insanely hard to do. It hasn't been done since like 1991 or something like that. That's insane. And he's about to win it. 20 touchdowns this year. Just yesterday, 7 receptions, 130 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the kid's turn-up speed is insane. And if he is available, you take him. I know we have a lot of issues, but we don't have a number 1 receiver. At least we have a number 1 cornerback in Darius Slay. And I know a lot of people want Patrick Surtain, so do I. But if Devonta Smith is available at whatever pick you have, you must take Devonta Smith. He's going to be great in the NFL. His speed is insane. He catches the ball and he'll run. He doesn't even try to make a move. He just goes. And he scores a lot because of that speed. No matter who's throwing it to him. Jalen or Carson. It doesn't matter. You cannot possibly mess this up by drafting somebody from wherever. Just draft within these 4 teams. Clemson, Notre Dame, Bama, and Ohio State. That's all you have to do. You cannot miss on that in the first 3 rounds. Please, for the love of God, do it. Also, before I end this video, Doug Peterson will be returning for the 2021 season. But again, I don't think the head coach is the main issue, and I don't even like Doug. Howie Roseman, if you mess this up again for the third straight year with this wide receiver pick, and it has been way worse. I mean, you have missed on multiple drafts now. He's the worst drafter I've ever seen. If you mess this up with a top 10 pick, I don't know what else to say. The fact that this team would still trust you to even select this pick would blow my mind. I hope you don't select, because I know you're picking a long snapper at pick 5, dude. He's the worst. The worst. But, Jim Schwartz is no longer the defensive coordinator, and we have a lot of work to do with this team. It's going to be a long offseason, boys. It's going to be a long one. And, we end tomorrow, hopefully with a loss. I'm saying it. I hope the Eagles lose for that pick. They need this pick. They need it. Whether you trade back and get more or you keep it and draft big, you need this pick. Who cares about dignity? Your team stinks. You're the worst team in the worst division of all time. You are at the lowest of the low. You better lose this game. You better get a high pick. Because if you don't, you're just going to stay bad. That's it. You need to lose tomorrow. Sunday Night Football. I don't care. Blow us out, please. You're doing us a favor. Nobody should want to win this game tomorrow. I don't care about the stupid hat thing. Oh, nobody wants to put on a hat on our field. I don't care about that. Lose this game. For the sake of this team. For the sake of for the future of this team, please lose. I can't believe I'm rooting against the Eagles. I mean, it pains me to actually do it. But they need to lose this game for their sake. They do. I'm sorry for being negative, but it needs to happen. They need to lose this game. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for, being the best fans out there. If you are new, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for tuning into the 4for4 Philly fan podcast. And I'm out. Peace.